I now have a much cleaner computer. Got it all vacuumed out, and I'm hoping that maybe this also helps with the frame rates, but no, not really. It's really not helping. Oh well. My computer was kind of crapping out every once in a while. I thought it was my fans giving out. So far, so good, at least on that end. Oh. I missed that. But I kind of caught what they were saying, that something about wedding Cassandra, something. I thought Seekers knew everything, or... yeah. Anything? Okay, I kind of thought there would be a conversation there. I'm pretty much running at a consistent 15 frames per second suddenly. I'm really not sure why. Read. Okay, so it's... there we go. The Singing Maiden. Have you ever heard the story of King Bedwyr? Bedwyr, like most kings, was a man of great pride who expected nothing but complete loyalty from his subjects. He believed the best way to achieve this was through fear. After all, those who feared him would never cross him or question his rule. Most importantly, those who feared him would always seek to please him. Bedwyr? I don't know. I'm gonna just say Bedwyr because I don't know. I guess I'm thinking worm, like, you know, a kind of dragon that isn't really... okay. Bedwyr cultivated fear in his subordinates through the gleeful and understated use of a contraption referred to as the Maiden. The Maiden was a hinged iron casket as high and wide and deep as a man, with vicious spikes within, meant to pierce through the poor soul locked into it. Bedwyr's Maiden was a prized possession and stood in a place of honor in his throne room, often with a screaming victim inside it. Political rivals, suspected assassins, treasonous ministers, and the Maiden consumed them all. But as the time passed, more people were given to the Maiden for increasingly trivial offenses. The cook, for oversalting the king's food, the page boy, for dropping his sword. The Maiden cast a pall over the kingdom. I actually don't understand what a pall. Over the kingdom, and its people prayed for deliverance from their cruel king. Then, one day, a strange woman rode into the city. She called herself Ember, and was an emissary from a far-off land. Her leaders had heard, she said, of Bedwyr's wisdom and authority, and she sought the king's counsel. The thought that he had earned the adulation of brother kings across the sea made Bedwyr swallow with pride, and he granted Ember an audience. They dined and danced, and through it all, Ember flattered and fawned on the king. At the end of the night, Ember asked to see the Maiden, the infamous device that had given Bedwyr all of his power. The king, giddy with praise, proudly presented Ember with the empty contraption. Ember looked at the Maiden, sighed with disappointment, and said, "That does not look terrifying at all. I should have imagined the spikes to be much sharper." Bedwyr grew red at her comment and replied, "The spikes are sharp enough. Look at the blood that still clings to them." "But it is so small," said Ember. "Are only children and women its victims?" Bedwyr grew redder still and replied, "Of course not. The Maiden has devoured many men." By the way, I'm moderately dyslexic. Okay, so, and that's why I sometimes go when I'm reading. Ember shook her head and said to the king, "I do not believe it. Surely no warrior could fear this thing. A man like yourself, tall and muscled, would not fit within." The king laughed and saw a way to prove the marriage of the Maiden to Ember. "I will show you how easily a man like myself could fit," he said, and with that, oh my god, really? And with that, he stepped into the device. But Ember was waiting, and no sooner had Bedwyr squeezed himself into the iron casket that Ember slammed it shut on him. Ember took the Maiden, with the screaming Bedwyr inside, through the castle and down into the city, and the people, finally free from the king's tyranny, cheered and danced to the singing that echoed through the streets until Bedwyr was dead and it finally stopped. Yeah, well, that's pretty interesting, I guess. Also very stupid of that man. But you know, it really... I like how they're just very conveniently leading me along here to the chantry. The sharpness really shouldn't matter. I mean, you think it'd be actually more excruciating if the spikes were dulled.
May I be with you?
Okay, let's move on. Here, I assume, is the chantry. Things change in every Dragon Age game. This really doesn't look like a chantry anymore. Compared to, like, Origins and even Dragon Age 2. But then again, we are in Haven, and Kirkwall and Haven are two different things, so...
Chancellor Roderick says that the chantry wants nothing to do with us.
It's certainly pretty in here. Prettiness is unfortunately difficult on my frame rate. Okay, read. Right, I need to right click on it. Alright, a chant for the departed. The light shall lead her safely through the paths of this world and into the next. For she who trusts in the Maker, fire is her water. As the moth sees light and goes toward the flame, she should see fire and go toward light. The veil holds no certainty for her, and she will know no fear or death, for the Maker shall be her beacon and her shield, her foundation and her sword. Transfigurations 10-:1, often sung by mourners as they light candles. Read, more reading, all the lore, all the lore! The Fade! The study of the Fade is as old as humankind. For so long as men have dreamed, we have walked its twisting paths, sometimes catching a glimpse of the city at its heart, always as close as our own thoughts, but impossibly separated from our world. The Tevinter Imperium once spent vast fortunes of gold, lyrium, and human slaves in an effort to map the terrain of the Fade, and an ultimately futile endeavor. Although portions of it belong to powerful spirits, all of the Fade is in constant flux. The Imperium succeeded in finding the disparate and ever-shifting realms of a dozen demon lords, as well as cataloging a few hundred types of spirits. Before I think I combined these two words into therefore. Before they were forced to abandon the project. The relationship of dreamers to the Fade is complex. Even when entering the Fade through the use of lyrium, mortals are not able to control or affect it. The spirits who dwell there, however, can, and as the chantry teaches us, the great flaw of the spirits is that they have neither imagination nor ambition. They create what they see through their sleeping visitors, building elaborate copies of our cities, people, and events, which, like the reflections in a mirror, ultimately lack context or life of their own. Even the most powerful demons merely plagiarize the worst thoughts and fears of mortals and build their realms with no other ambition than to taste life. From Tranquility and the Arilla of the Fade in Human Culture by First Enchanter Josephus. Yeah, I don't know who that is. Sad face. Here I was like, would that be, I don't know, like Orsino? Or, what's his face? From Ferelden. Damn it, what's his name? How can I forget his name? Irving! Haha. Nugskin! So this is for making... Okay, Blood Lotus. Alright, so crafting stuff! Alright, let's try seeing if there's any more loot or lore. The lore, I don't know if I'll keep reading it all out loud, considering I only have, you know, I'm only making the videos about 25 minutes long. It might end up becoming something that takes up a lot of time.
Completely mad.
Uh-oh.
She should be taken to Val Royo immediately, to be tried by whomever becomes defied.
Oh,
I do not
really?
believe she is guilty.
The elf failed, Seeker.
What?
The breach is still in the sky. For all you know, she intended it this way.
I do not believe that.
That is not for you to decide. Your duty is to serve the Chantry.
My duty is to serve the principles on which the Chantry was founded, Chancellor, as is yours.
Oh dear. Is that it? Okay. Because I see there's a bunch of other doors. Turn in research. Hello there. Enemies drop unique collectibles, bring them to the researcher to learn more about your foes and earn combat bonuses against them. Oh, sure, I'll do that. Keep items for dream rigs.
Yes.
Okay.
Good.
Hello there. May I speak to you? Oh my god, what's going on?
I believe Seeker Pentagast was looking for you.
Okay. Oh boy, here's more lore to read. The children of Andraste. There are many misconceptions regarding Andraste's bloodline, Monsieur. This is due, I should think, to a general lack of knowledge regarding Andraste's mortal life. Understandable, considering the many cults that arose following her death. Everyone sought to claim Our Lady for their own culture or claimed some aspect of her existence was a lie. All of them complete fabrications. My order has done considerable research to ascertain the truth. We all know Andraste and the Betrayer raised 5 children. The eldest 3 were sons, Izarath, Evrion, and Verald. The rule of what was once southern Tevinter was split among them. Izarath was given the west, and what is today Orlais. Evrion was given the east, was today the Free Marches. Verald was given the central Planacine, and what is today Navarra. What became of these men and their legacies is the stuff of legend, and the majority of claimants to Andraste's bloodline link back to one of them. None of the 3 sons, however, were born of Andraste. They were born of the Betrayer's concubine, Gillivan. People choose to look over the fact that Andraste came from the Alamari tribesmen and that they were barbarians, not the Ferelden's we know today. They were savage warriors who took concubines in addition to their wives, and because Andraste was thought to be too weak to bear children, the Betrayer took Gillivan to provide him heirs, which she did. After her death, the sons were raised as Andraste's own. Later in life, Andraste proved predictions wrong and had 2 daughters by the Betrayer, Ebrus and Viviel. They were kept out of the public eye, not permitted to marry, though both had consorts. Ebrus had but one child, Ali Vemar, who perished on a voyage to Denerim less than a month after her mother fell to plague, and without children of her own. The younger daughter, Viviel, was more controversial, a strong-headed woman who defied her family by falling in love with a mage of Tevinter, Regulin. Oh boy. Viviel and Regulin went into self-imposed exile as the Exalted March began, and into hiding following Andraste's betrayal and murder. What became of Viviel and her descendants is largely unknown for one primary reason. She had only daughters. Each of those daughters only had daughters. They married into other families and took other names, and in the chaos of the Second Blight, all traces of survivors were lost, and Andraste's true bloodline, if it exists, lies solely in the descendants of Viviel, and the suspicion of my order is that it produces only daughters. Thus, the claims of your young man, Monsieur, are highly suspect. From a letter by Sister Galena of the Augustan Order, Dragon 912, which is the era of the dragon, I guess, or the age of the dragon. The Dragon Age! There we go. Nothing? Okay. Alright, then that's it for this room. Let's go to the other, and then we'll go barge in on that wonderful conversation that Cassandra's having with that asshole. Looks like, okay, no, not more reading. Not that I totally mind the reading, but... Okay, it's kind of long. You know what? That's okay. That's really okay. I'm just gonna go ahead and walk in on this wonderful conversation.
Chain her! I want her prepared for travel to the capital for trial.
Disregard that and leave us.
You walk a dangerous line, Seeker.
The breach is stable, but it is still a threat. I will not ignore it.
So I'm still a suspect, even after what we just did.
You absolutely are.
No, she is not.
Someone
Thank you,
was behind the
Cassandra.
explosion at the Conclave. Someone most holy did not expect. Perhaps they died with the others, or have allies who yet live.
I am a suspect,
You, and many others.
but not the prisoner.
I heard the voices in the temple. The Divine called to her for help.
So her survival, that thing on her hand, all a coincidence.
Providence. The Maker sent her to us in our darkest hour.
I don't want her to, like... I...
You realize I'm an elf. A Dalish elf.
I have not forgotten. No matter what you are or what you believe, you are exactly what we needed when we needed it.
The breach remains, and your mark is still our only hope of closing it.
This is not for you to decide.
You know what this is, Chancellor. A writ from the Divine, granting us the authority to act. As of this moment, I declare the Inquisition reborn. We will close the breach, we will find those responsible, and we will restore order with or without your approval.
Ooh. It's so
This
the
is the
Inquisition
Divine's
begins.
directive. Rebuild the Inquisition of old. Find those who will stand against the chaos. We aren't ready. We have no leader, no numbers. And now, no Chantry support.
But we have no choice. We must act now, with you at our side.
Inquisition of old.
What is the Inquisition of old, exactly?
It preceded the Chantry. People who banded together to restore order in a world gone mad.
After, they laid down their banner and formed the Templar Order, but the Templars have lost their way. We need those who can do what must be done, united under a single banner once more.
But aren't you still part of the Chantry?
Is that what you see?
The Chantry will take time to find a new divine. And then it will wait for her direction.
But we cannot wait. So many Grand Clerics died at the Conclave. No, we are on our own. Perhaps forever.
You're trying to start a holy war.
We are already at war. You are already involved. Its mark is upon you. As to whether the war is holy, that depends on what we discover.
Alright, well, I'm not going to refuse, so... This is rather
When I woke
strange.
up, I certainly didn't picture this outcome.
Neither did we.
Help us fix this before it's too late.
Yay! BFFs forever! I guess that's sort of redundant, considering what BFF stands for. Alright. I hope this means you get to go to Skyhold and... Oh, okay, hold on. Josephine! I'm like just looking at Calden and I looked and... Oh! Barrack! Okay, yeah, I know. We know Barrack's there. there's the Templars, I'm guessing. Declaring war or something? Declaring the Inquisition? I'm guessing this must be Orlais, maybe? Or not. There's Cullen. Inquisition. They just claim it for the Inquisition? I'm getting excited. Probably too excited. Cassandra looks pleased. As pleased as Cassandra ever looks. Yay! Oh my god, that's the most awful texture. Yay, low graphics. Oh, hello! We just apparently finished the beginning. That took a while. Sweet! Alright, so quest completed, know thy enemy. Influence is up. The threat remains, report to Haven's Chantry. Wait, what was that? No, go back. Inquisitor's path as the Inquisition. Okay, so this is... There we go. The threat remains. That's what we need to do. But Haven... What was that? Haven's best and brightest. Speak with the smith, the quartermaster, and the apothecary. Okay. Well, I think I'll do this side thing first. Although, let's see here. I have my timer going, and we have 2.5 minutes left. Alright, let's just do the side stuff here. Inspect requisitions.
Master Harry said that without more ore, he won't be able to get blades for the recruits.
Tell Master Harry that ore doesn't grow on trees.
Yes, Mom. I think
Oops, I didn't really mean to do that.
we have to dig it up.
If you find anything we need, let me know.
Thren, whatever you are. Hi there.
If you're here to clean, Hess can get you a bucket and a broom. Anyone calls you knife here, come to me.
Yay!
Oh, you're her. Thren, Inquisition Quartermaster. I'm doing what I can to supply this mess. If you find what I need to fill one of my requisitions, I'd appreciate you bringing it in.
You know what, that's alright. With only 2, well... Alright, let's do this. What's your job?
What do you do here?
I make sure the Inquisition troops have food in their bellies and iron in their hands. Both are important. Lots of people expecting us to be heroes, marching all day to fight the demons. Turns out heroes need to dig latrines just like everyone else.
How does someone end up as quartermaster for the Inquisition?
I served for Eldon under Ten Loghain MacTier. Best commanding officer this world has
Oh,
ever seen.
really?
After they all turned on him at Denerim, though, there wasn't much use for people who held that opinion. King Alistair offered my services to the Inquisition, probably to get rid of me.
With that attitude, I can't imagine how you made enemies in Denerim.
People just
That
don't
doesn't
want to
sound
hear
very
the truth.
sarcastic.
I was at Ostagar, and I know what really happened.
Oh, really?
King Kaelan overextended his position, and the Grey Wardens were too late lighting the signal. Following the original plan would have gotten everyone killed. Ten Loghain made the right decision. I apologize. Sister Liliana told me I shouldn't talk about this. Just forget it.
Indeed, you probably shouldn't.
What did you mean when you mentioned requisitions?
I'm making this Inquisition run with what we have, but we're not a real army. We're stretched thin on materials, so I've put up a requisition list for anything that could help our people. Here, take a look. You find some iron and a good logging site. Maybe Harriet can get our troops better weapons.
I'm gonna finish up this conversation here, and then that'll be the end of the video.
If I have material for a special order, do I bring it to you?
Just take it over there. One of my boys will take the materials or jot down what you found.
Alright.
Farewell.
Sounds
Make
good.
it go with you.